Suggestion lang siguro, Commissioner, Mr. Chair. Siguro para to disseminate this information further, siguro po you have to talk to business associations, and then the media also, one of these stations do a press conference para talagang ma-disseminate po, makarating po, lalo sa social media. Ngayon naman po, pag nagpatawag ka ng press con, may kasama na rin po mga vloggers. So, you want to do that. And at the same time, yung mga business communities, organizations like Filipino-Chinese Chamber, etc., yung mga maliliit. And then the international community. Kaya nga po, nag-umpisa po itong hearing natin because nagreklamo na po yung dalawang ambassador na sobra na, pati po yung mga investors natin tinatamaan ng LOA. So kaya tayo po imbestiga. You might want to do that. Just a suggestion, Commissioner Mendoza. Thank you, Sanjay.
Gagawin po namin yun, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. So ngayon narinig natin yung bagong reforma na system-generated na kung sino po yung i-audit, and at the same time, it has to go through the Commissioner's Office. In the past, nasa RDO level at pababa, so maaaring hindi alam ng dating Commissioner, yung mga nangyari. Pwedeng posible na because of the authority granted to them, talagang you can say that it was prone to abuse kasi nga hindi na mo monitor ng higher ups of the BIR officials. So, right now, yun nga ang concern ni Senator Lacson, baka mamaya wala na hong oras kayo magpirma kung talagang ang commissioner mismo pipirma nung narinig namin. Pero I think meron na kayong sistema that you devised already. And tanong ko lang po itong software o itong program that you are using now, sinimulan lang nyo ito after the Blue Ribbon hearing, and because sandali pa lang, ilang buwan pa lang, na it's not easy to make a program para maging bagay dito sa sistema. So kailan nyo sinimulan tong Commissioner Mendoza?
Yeah. Meron pong existing system actually, nandoon po yung mga taxpayers' information. So in-enhance lamang po yung system by embedding the core criteria for the system to choose the taxpayers to be audited based on the information na nandoon na po, existing na po doon sa system.
So at least now, with this kind of system, we can be rest assured that hindi na at least malalaman na ng at least higher ups, unlike before, na pwede talagang maabuso kasi nga hindi alam to because of the authority granted with this system that was been instituted. I think for Commissioner Lumagi wants to say something.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just for clarification also, sinimulan po natin kasi itong audit selection program during my time as well. Dahil nga po, we recognize that yung suki-suki system, gusto po natin ma-eliminate po yun. That's why we started we also supported the automated selection process for selection ng kung sino po yung masasubject ng audit. And just for further clarification po, yung system po na yan, i-input po lahat dyan kasi meron pong RMO regarding sino-sino ba dapat ang ma-audit. May mga certain red flags po yan na naka-enumerate. Kapag pasok po kayo dyan sa criteria, yan po supposedly ang sinusunod ng mga RDOs. Hindi po dapat purely discretionary at kung sino-sino lang ang gusto nilang i-audit at ayan ang ma-audit. Meron pong issuance po yan na may mga criteria tapos based sa submission ng financial statements during the year-end ng April, i-examine supposedly yan dapat para makita if may red flag ba talaga pasok doon sa inisyong issuance kung talaga bang dapat ma-audit itong mga taxpayers na to. So, kumbaga merong procedure po pero manual yung pagpili ng taxpayer kung sino yung ma-audit. And we recognized also na syempre baka yun nga po may abusong pwede mangyari dahil kunyari palalabasin na pasok siya doon sa criteria pero hindi naman. That's why we were gearing towards the automated selection process. So yung system po na yan, naka-feed po dyan yung RMO na criteria kung sino-sino ba dapat ang ma-audit. At based on doon sa pag-input ng mga criteria na to, yung system po yung pipili. Kaya lang since it's just the beginning, hindi po natin kayang fully implement po ito. That's why during my time, nag-implement po tayo gradually. Nung nagsimula po tayo at nag-mandate po tayo na 30% at least dapat automated selection. And as the years go by, pagka nakita natin na maganda na yung system and perfect and walang system error, dahil alam naman po natin pagka systems ang pinag-uusapan, garbage in, garbage out. Kung hindi maganda yung information na nandyan, hindi rin magiging tama ang iluluwang i-issuehan ng LOA dahil hindi pa perfect yung system. That's why gradual yung nagiging implementation. And right now, I think naayos na naman po at 100% fully automated na po yung pag-select po ng mga taxpayers for audit. Yun na po, Mr. Chair, just for clarification on that.
So the system was in place already. So it was just enhanced, no? Kaya medyo mabilis. Tsaka at least na-implement na siguro ngayon because nagkaroon na ng awareness, no? Doon sa mga nangyari. Siguro yung ano lang, Mr. Chair, no? Kaya po ito pumutok, ika nga, sabi ko nga noon, nangyari kasi a lot of small and medium scale enterprises, yung mga kilala natin sa mga social gatherings, have been complaining, no? Medyo marami-rami na they are subject to LOA, na multiple LOAs, ilang taon yun, na halos yun ang dumarating sa atin, na abuso. Ang problema, sabi ko nga, pag ang sabi nila, kapag nagkasundo doon sa kanilang babayaran, kaya ang problema, yung resibo, mas napakaliit yung pumapasok sa gobyerno. Kaya parang sabi ko nga dati, kung pakurot-kurot lang, nung huli dakma na no? Sa 1 milyon, halimbawa, 200,000 lang ang resibo. Medyo sobra naman yon. Ang mas nakakabahala dito, Mr. Chair, is that when the European Chamber, yung Japanese Chamber, and other investors started to complain already. And they were also subject to LOA, the weaponization, and also siguro pwede explain siguro ni Commissioner kung ano pa yung naging complaints ng mga foreign investors. No? I think it's a VAT refund, no? Another issue, kung pwede niyong briefly. Ang nakakalungkot po dito, in the last visit of our President to Japan, yung kanya pong state visit or working visit, naging part po ng bilateral talks. Ito pong abuse of the Japanese investors subject to abuse by our BIR, no? So dapat talaga ayusin natin to because, Mr. Chair, ngayon nga po, hirap na tayo sa foreign investments. We are losing to ASEAN neighbors, Vietnam, Thailand, and others dahil sa nangyayari sa atin. We really have to fix our system at pakita natin transparency. So, siguro briefly, Commissioner, did you consult ito pong nag-complaint ng mga European Chamber tungkol sa Japan, no? Kasi talagang naging subject ng bilateral talks. We really have to address this.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. In fact, even during the time na nasa Department of Finance pa po ako, nakikipag-usap kami sa mga various chambers of commerce. I think po yung pinanggagalingan ng concern ng mga multinational companies, ng mga various chambers of commerce, I think po specifically, ito yung RMC 5/2024 as supplemented by RMC 38-2024. Ito po yung cross-border services na offshoot po ng desisyon ng Korte Suprema doon sa ACES case. In fairness po sa Bureau of Internal Revenue, maliwanag naman po ang nakalagay doon sa RMC 38-2024 na ia-apply lamang yung ruling ng Korte Suprema kung ang facts ng case ay kahalintulad ng facts na nandoon po sa kaso na yon. Apparently ho, ang naging reklamo ng mga taxpayers, especially ng mga multinational companies, is kapag nakakita na ng cross-border payment or cross-border services, ina-apply na po kaagad yung ruling ng Supreme Court doon sa kaso na yun. At napakalalaking halaga po ang involved dito that apparently resulted to bloated assessments. Pero maliwanag naman po sa RMC, clear po yun na dapat nakabase doon sa ruling ng Supreme Court. Kaya nga po, ngayon po ay maglalabas na naman po kami ng panibagong Revenue Memorandum Circular, further clarifying RMC 38-2024. At during my command conference with the regional directors, at ito po ay uulitin ko na naman in my command conference with the revenue district officers, ang maliwanag ho na bili namin ay to make sure na kung i-apply nila ang ruling na ito at magkakameron ng assessment based on that case, kinakailangan hindi ho enough na ilagay lang nila na RMC 5/2024. Kinakailangan hong i-specify nila clearly at i-explain yung facts at yung basis kung bakit in-apply po nila yung kaso na yon. I think po, Mr. Chair, yun po ang pinanggagalingan ng reklamo ng mga multinational companies. Salamat po.
Thank you. And I hope that it will be addressed and clarified, no? Kasi I think we really need to send a signal, no, that we are yung policies natin consistent, no, and then we are addressing yung pong issue na abuse, no, with the reforms that have been instituted. As mentioned by our chair earlier, mas maganda because of the reforms that they have been being instituted, we, as much as possible, bawasan yung human intervention, especially when targeting ito pong those taxpayers who are subject to audit, system generated as you mentioned, pero sa ilan ng RMO 001-2020, may papayagan pa rin ang rekomendasyon ng Revenue District Office sa pagpili ng taxpayer sa pamagitan lamang ng written jurisdiction. So, written justification. So, ano ang accepted justification para sa mga ganitong kaso?
Pwede po kasing merong third-party information na ibinigay sa kanila. Na nagsasabing itong taxpayer na ito ay hindi nagbabayad ng tamang buwis. Yung system po natin, yung pag-analyze po ng system natin ay nakabase sa mga dokumento na nandun din po sa system. So kung yung dokumento po mismo ay fraudulent, yun nga po yung sinasabi ni Commissioner June kanina, na garbage in, garbage out. Ang i-analyze din kasi noong aming system ay yung information na nandun sa system. So kung yung document ho, yung returns na pinafile ng taxpayer ay hindi totoo, falsified, hindi ho magiging accurate din yung resulta nung paglabas ng analysis ng system. So possible ho na may mga third-party information na ibibigay sa aming mga regional directors. So ibibigay ho sa amin yon so we can analyze and see if dapat ba silang issuean din ng letter of authority. And at this point nga po, bago po yung sistema, we do not profess na foolproof po ito. Definitely, meron kaming makikitang mga problema as we go along that definitely we will address. So mas mabuti po na meron po tayong mga fallbacks na ganoon to address lang po kung sakaling merong problema doon sa sistema.
Meron concern ang ating chairman, yung standards daw. Meron ba clear
Clear na standards dyan.